Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Anoxmaly video, where today we are going to be playing Loop Hero. Now, the reason I have this game is because yesterday, on December 20th, 2021, this game was free on the Epic Games Store for 24 hours, and I managed to pick it up. But I had my eye on this game beforehand. I'd seen a streamer play it and was a little bit interested in it. I don't think I'm going to make a full series out of this, but if that is something that you would be interested in after watching this video, then leave a comment and let me know. But for now, I'm just going to jump in the midst of a game that I have already started and try and sort of explain the game as I go. So let me just slow it down. So basically what you have is this big loop that the loop in the name of the game comes from, and your character, the hero, walks around it and defeats monsters. And as he does this, you will get these cards, which are supposed to represent your character remembering things about the world. So, let's see, let me just set up something up here. I will explain in a moment. So you get these cards by defeating the monsters, but you also get these pieces of equipment from defeating them, and that makes your character a little stronger. There are also some synergy things that you can do with the cards. For instance, if you do a 3x3 of rocks or mountains, you can create a large mountain, which is what I'm trying to do up there in the top left corner. You just want to try and get as many of those boosts that you can, because even without having that large mountain, if you put rocks and mountains next to each other, they increase your maximum health. And then if you put these meadows down, they increase how much health you get every day, which is this bar up here in the top left, which every time it fills up, a new day starts. And there are certain tiles that trigger each day. For instance, this spider cocoon, if I put it down, it would start spawning a spider on an adjacent tile once a day. So right now I'm just trying to get a bit of a starter deck started out so that I can decide what I'm going to do. I think this is enough to sort of start going. So just set up some more mountains and rocks up there. These meadow cards, they normally only give you 2 HP per day, but if you put them next to a non-meadow tile, they increase to 3 HP per day. So that's a pretty decent boost if you do it right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put down this vampire mansion, and one of its synergies lets it turn a village nearby into a ransacked village. And after 3 full loops around this thing, which means you have to get to this little camp building right here, it'll turn into an even better village, which the normal village, it will restore your health and give you a quest. I think getting the better village will pretty much double the health it gives you, and will make the quests give better rewards, which the rewards is just this loot that is not being used by me currently for some reason. But the unfortunate downside of having these ransacked villages is that they get 4 pretty powerful ghouls, which is why I'm only doing 1 village right now, because having to do 2 villages in a row would probably be a death sentence. And on top of that, the vampire mansion that's next to them spawns a vampire in the battle as well, and that adds a vampire trait to everything, which heals the enemies for 10% of the damage they deal, which, with a total of 5 enemies on that spot in those cases, that is not fun to deal with. So here it is, the ransacked village. It's got the 4 ghouls and the vampire, and it's already looking pretty bad for me. Alright, I survived barely. Usually I find it better if the hero ends up attacking the vampire first, but you don't really have any control over the battles. It's all an auto attack thing. And obviously you see my health, it's not that great, which means it would definitely not be great if I had to deal with 2 of those in a row. I'm trying to get more meadows down. Try and make things a bit better. So hopefully my health regenerates enough by the time I get back to the village that things will not be too terrible. Okay, here we go. We have this goblin camp, which is the reason that I have these swamps in my deck. Because they have a synergy where when you put the swamp next to the camp, it turns into a goblin lookout, which changes it to have a goblin archer instead. So then instead of actually having to fight the goblin, it'll spawn as a separate little window here that will only assist other enemies in a fight. This village might be the death of me. I don't know if there's really anything I can do to make it not. I'm gonna put down this grove and blood grove, and with this blood grove, anything in this area is going to be automatically defeated if I get its health under 15%, which means I don't have to do as much damage to these ghouls and this vampire. I think my gear is really helping me here, actually. Looks like... yeah. I got a really good cleave, it looks like. What is giving me that? Nothing is. It's weird. Okay, well, for some reason I was doing a lot of damage there, and I don't know why. But now I have a trait point, which lets me get a permanent bonus for this particular run. See, I think the Surveyor one seems pretty good. Each time the hero passes through a tile, he will heal for 0.5 times loop HP for each non-road tile around it. The loop, it means the loop level, which is up here, this 3. So I would be healing for 1.5 HP for every tile that's not a road, which means that would be a good trait for more busy areas like here. Might not be as good when I'm going through the rest of it, but I think eventually a lot of the area around the road is going to be filled up, so I think I'll get it just because it'll be useful later on. So I only need 2 more rocks before I finish the large mountain up there. So then instead of actually having to fight the goblin, wow. That almost did me in. That would have been pretty terrible, dying to a slime. That will only assist other enemies in a fight. So that's one less enemy to deal with in that spot. Maybe that thing still is... I don't know. I don't know how that goblin got there. About to make it to the camp, though. And I don't know if I should end it, because I don't know if I can survive another going around. Especially because the village is still ransacked. Maybe I could set up some villages that are not ransacked, because they heal 35 health upon entering. So maybe I could stick them in different places to have them ready for me. Maybe that'll give me enough health to make it there. Okay, so I've got a little over half health. It's possible that we will survive down this meadow. This is our last chance. Where it sticks us into a battle. Okay. This might work. Haven't lost very much health. Alright, all the ghouls are dead, and the vampire kind of really sucks. It's his ability that he gives all the things around him that's really his problem, but we got through him, so everything is good. Okay, yeah, that goblin thing still has to be spawning more, because now there's 2 of them. So perhaps I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I think that was enough loops for the ransacked village, if I am remembering correctly. Okay, maybe it's this goblin camp that's really hurting me, because I think that knocked me down a lot more than the vampire did. So let's see if I was correct and that was enough loops. Yes, okay. Oh. And now that I've got so many villages put down, there are bandit camps appearing. So yeah, now we have the Count's lands, which does increase the healing it does. Let me get out of that so that I can see exactly what it is. It looks like a little over double. It goes from 40 to 90, and it also gives you a quest with better rewards. Okay, we have enough rocks. And there we go, we got the mountain peak, which gives us 120 max HP and plus 5 HP for every adjacent mountain or rock tile, which is why I've got these mountains branching off. And the reason that I've been doing the mountains like this and only using the rocks for the mountain peak are because the mountains actually give plus 5 HP for each adjacent rock or mountain. So having them all out here next to each other is good, and it's better than having them. All be the rock. And I'm still going to be using pretty much only the mountains to snake around up here. But now what I'll do with the rocks is I'll put them down in this corner, and I'll put meadows around them. And the good thing about the rocks is that they, even when they're just by themselves, they give plus 2 HP. If I just put a random mountain alone by itself, then it would not be giving plus 5 HP. Okay, so I'm going to let my character get all the way to the camp again, just to see where his health is. And if it looks fine by then I think I might set up another ransacked village. This goblin camp looks... yeah, so that goblin camp was pretty good. Okay, the spider nest that was right after it was also pretty simple to deal with. So let me just set up some more mountains. I get another one of those rocks down there. Okay, so I've gotten another one of these battlefield cards, which lets you set up a synergy with another battlefield card, where if they have overlapping areas, then that area will turn into I believe it's a blood path, yes, which now those blood paths will start spawning extra enemies on them. And these battlefields are already spawning treasure chests on those paths, and they're also giving a chance for the enemies killed on those paths to turn into ghosts, which I think gives you more chances for rewards. It could also just be an annoying thing. I haven't really paid too much attention to that. Hopefully these spiders don't give too much problems. Another goblin camp has spawned, so I have something to do with all these swamps. Let's see what the new ransacked village is like. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. Really wish it would focus on the vampire first, because the vampire has, I think, the least health of all of them. Yeah. So if it would just focus on that one first, there would be less damage, but can't control it. Looks like I've got another trait point. Don't know how long it was sitting there without me noticing it. I think I'm gonna go with the 10% chance of stunning. I think that's one that I've never picked before, so we'll see how it turns out. Uh-oh. This might be bad. Okay. I barely survived that. I really don't think that I can make it to the campfire. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to end my run. There are 3 ways that you can end a run. The best way would be for you to end your run on your campsite, because then you would get 100% of all these materials that you've collected. And then the worst way would be to end it by dying, because then you only get to keep 30% of those resources. But since I am currently outside of combat but not on the campsite, I can end it right now and keep 60%. If I had a little more health, I think I would try to go for the campsite, but I really do not think that I can make it, so we are retreating. And then when you're here at your campsite, you can upgrade things, buy more stuff, unlock more cards, get more abilities. Now technically I've already completed the chapter that I was just doing, which is just pretty much how difficult that loop is. But earlier I tried to do the second chapter, and it was a little bit tricky, so I'm trying to get a little more practice in with the first chapter. But yeah, we're at almost 40 minutes of recording, and it went by pretty fast because I really like this game. I believe it came out this year, 2021. I think it might be somewhere near the top of my favorite games for this year. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here for this video. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to make this into a full series, but if you do want to see some more of this, maybe I try this chapter again, then let me know down below. You can also leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss any other videos that I might post. But aside from that, I'll see you guys next time.